My biggest ADHD tax cost me £65,000. You're not crap with money. You just don't understand your brain enough to manage it in a neurodivergent way. And then I suddenly got in 65 grand's worth of debt because I didn't read the small print on a contract that said personal guarantee on it. We're probably the first people at the bar going, hey, everybody, shots are on me, even if we can't afford it. But it's not us that was broken, it was the system. Yeah. Stop telling yourself you're crap with money and start learning to manage it. People who earn lots of money are not bad people because they earn lots of money. They're bad people because they're cunts.
Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome back to Confessions of an ADHD. I'm really, really excited for this episode because we have a special guest today, which I will introduce in a minute. If you're new around here, this is the podcast where I share a weekly ADHD fueled fuck up and the science behind it, in the hope that sharing my chaos can help make sense of yours. It's been about a year since the ADHD diagnosis, and of course the irony is I am actually a time management coach who has just found out she's got ADHD. Each episode we are sharing a little bit of a confession, and we're going to also unpack the why, the psychology, the neuroscience, etc. behind it. Hopefully that will help you have your oh my god, this makes so much sense now moment. Please know I am not a medical professional, probably not a professional actually in any sense of the terms. This is all from my own lived in experience. So please grab a cuppa, get comfy. Let's dive in because, as I said, we have a special guest today. Maddie, welcome, Maddie. Thank you so much for being here, babe.
Thanks, my darling. I'm so pleased to be here. Like, it's very exciting. I love podcasts and I love chatting. So yeah, and ADHD is my favourite thing to talk about in the whole wide world.
It's going to be a good episode. I know it already. If you can't see Maddie, by the way, she's wearing her podcast jumper, which is this beautiful purple number with some orange zigzag lightning bolts down it type things, chevron-y things, and is looking fabulous. If you're thinking, who's Maddie? Let me quickly introduce Maddie. Maddie is an ADHD money and business coach. So obviously the perfect person for this episode because we are going to be talking all things ADHD and money today. Maddie helps us neurodivergents to be seen, heard, understood, and get paid. She is the author of a best-selling ADHD book called Mad About Money, and she also is known in the press as a sickfluencer. I loved that, but actually you prefer the term disability champion, don't you, lovely? Maddie runs a membership for neurodivergent entrepreneurs called The Core and has a visibility strategy program called Amplify Your Influence. And also, I just want to add here as well, your book, Mad About Money, you've just had to read it. Like, it is sold out again.
Yes, this is the third print run we've done now, which is kind of absolutely wild. Like, I wasn't expecting it. I had a really interesting run of things where, like, I was in the press a lot and I went on the BBC. I did a documentary about ADHD medication, and as a result, I got a load of new followers. One of those followers was Zoe Ball. And Zoe Ball basically was like, oh my God, I really, really, really so pleased that I found you. This is amazing. Like, she's got undiagnosed ADHD and her son hasn't been great with money in the past. So she popped me a message and we had some back and forths and she bought 2 copies of my book. And then the next thing I know, she was talking about it on her podcast. I was like,
that's pretty fucking
I was actually driving at the time because I listened to her podcast anyway, and I was driving along and I was like, oh, they're talking about Greg James's book, I've just read that, really good book. And then they were like, oh, and this is the book I'm reading, and I was like, almost scratched the car.
That is a good fucking claim to fame. That is,
I know, right? I was just like, holy shit, like, what even is my life right now? Not only that, but last week they released their Dig It podcast Christmas gift guide, and I was in that as well. I was like, fucking amazing.
Okay, actually, do you know what? Let's just dive in. I'm going straight in with it.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to swerve the confession. We'll save that in a minute. The book.
Okay.
Talk to me about the book.
Yeah.
Like, how did this book birth? That was worded really fucking badly. Hopefully you can.
No, I got it. I got it. Like, I mean, to be fair, it was a labour of love, and like getting it out was like
painful.
It was painful. So, you know, I'm a dyslexic, autistic, ADHD, perimenopausal, PMDD, mental health disaster, basically. So trying to write a book when all of that shit's going on with your body and your brain is just like, nah, that's a lot of stuff. I never thought I would write a book ever. I wasn't particularly good at writing when I was a child. I've always been more of a speaker, more of a kind of podcaster. I'm an ex-radio presenter, so I've always been really vocal. But putting pen to paper has never really been my thing. But I think it's because I've never put pen to paper in my own voice. I've always done like, let's write a story about this, or let's write an essay, or whatever, or like,
So
let's
like
write a
little bit
dissertation.
forced because you had to, because you needed the points for uni.
Because I had to, because I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
But then when I started writing about my life and my story, it just came. And I was also like, I just want to swear loads and it's fun. The thing was that I actually didn't want to write a book. I'd never thought about it. It wasn't on my agenda. And I got a LinkedIn message one day, it was about 2 years ago, saying, hi, we've seen you on TikTok, we've seen you on LinkedIn, and we'd really like you to write us a book about ADHD and money. And I was like, okay. I thought it was a scam at first, because I was like...
You're like, delete.
People don't get publishing deals. Like, they have to work really hard to get publishing deals. And for one to just land in my lap, I was like, that's weird. So I actually used to work with Wiley when I was in my recruitment days. So I'd been to their offices, I knew where they were and like all of these kind of things. So when I got on the call with the lady, I was like quizzing her on who she knew in the team and like...
What, like to suss her out? Like, are you real?
Like. And I was just like...
You're like, where the fuck's the water cooler? Like, I know. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Where's the water cooler? Like, like how many car parking spaces do you have? Like all of these kind of like weird things. And she was just like, okay. And I was kept saying, oh, it's because I used to work with Wiley. And as it transpired, it was not a joke. It was not a drill. It was an actual genuine real thing. And they offered me an advance and a publishing deal and all of these cool things. And I took myself off to Mallorca for a week so that I could start writing it. Because there was no way I was writing it with my kids around. It was just like, not a chance. So... And it happened. And I mean, from start to finish, from when I got the publishing deal to when it came out was like a year and a half. And I had to keep that under wraps. It was a long journey.
But still, a year and a half still sounds pretty fucking quick, man.
Yeah. Well, originally it had a different name as well. And 3 weeks before I published, I got an email from somebody saying, you can't use that name because I've trademarked it. And I was like, okay, I've been talking about this book name for the last 6 months now. You're friends with me on Facebook, you clearly know, and she trademarked it like 3 weeks before. So basically she'd let me know that it was trademarked as it was approved, so I didn't have any time to like contest it or anything. So I had to change the name. Sneaky, horrible. So there were some things that happened during the launch that didn't go particularly well, but Wiley were like, we want this book. So I told them what I was going to write, and they were like, I want you to write this. And I said, well, I don't want to write that, I want to write this. So I told them that it would be sweary. I told them that it needs to be inclusive, it has to have big font, it has to be a big chunky book. It's for those who are listening, it's massive. Bigger than my head, I mean, which is saying something. I've got a massive... If
you had an ADHD rage, that would actually be quite a good book to lob at someone's head.
To whack, exactly. And it is multifunctional. I always say to people, you've got to have a multi-purpose. Great for hitting the kids with. Disclaimer, that's like only me saying that as a joke.
Yeah, I mean, 80s, we were allowed to do that.
I know, right? It's great as a doorstop. Like, because it's massively chunky. It's like your yellow pages. So if you're short and you want to kiss your partner, you can stand on it. There's loads of them. I know. So it is multi-purposeful. Also, there is a playlist in there, so people can listen and get the vibe of what I was listening to at the time I wrote it.
I love that.
There's colouring pages in the back, so if you get bored and you want to doodle. And there is a fuck glossary. And the fuck glossary is essentially where I put 342 swear words in the book. And Wiley were like, that's too many swear words. We don't really like swearing. So I changed all of the swear words in the whole book to like silly words and then made a fuck glossary in the back.
Okay, I think this is amazing. So what for people that haven't read the book yet, why should they go get the book?
Okay, well, first of all, most people, and I'm saying most because every single person who has an ADHD brain has different
flavours,
perceptions of life. Like, we're not all the same. It's not one size fits all. A lot of people do struggle with things like impulse spending, ADHD tax, money management, money trauma, money shame, things like budgeting, impulse impulse buying, like actually the mindset behind money, all those kind of things. So the book covers all of those things, but it is also my story of how I lived with undiagnosed ADHD until I was 37, and how I thought that I was a fuck up. I thought I was broken. I couldn't make friends. I had such bad infatuation with boys. And like I was really all over the place. Like I couldn't hold down a job. I used to piss up in a brewery. Actually, that's a lie. I was totally an alcoholic.
Yeah.
So there are lots of themes. There are lots of themes within the book.
I'm nodding along to all these themes, by the way.
Yes, yeah. So I talk about being a parent with ADHD. I talk about being pregnant with ADHD. I talk about like running a business with ADHD. How to navigate the workplace. Grief. Limerence, which is essentially where you basically fall in love with somebody and you can't stop thinking about them until they die, basically, or you die. Either way.
I've not had that one.
Really?
Yeah. I'm actually the opposite.
I'm
the opposite. I'm like cold hard, go fuck off type persona.
Nice. I mean, I wish I was. It would have saved me a lot of heartache in my younger years.
I'm the type of girl. I actually remember this very clearly. The last guy that I was properly dating, and this is going to make me sound like an absolute slut bag, but whatever. So obviously, first date, already slept with him.
Talk about being a slut bag as well.
There we go. So anyway, basically met him, thought it was going to be a one night stand, very good looking, and I was like, that was fun. And then he texted me like the next day, and I was like, why the fuck is he texting me? And the girls, obviously you got a screenshot of shit, haven't you, and send it to your girls for validation.
Yeah, of course.
And they were like, because he wants to see you again. I was like, why?
Just a slut. Why would he want to hang out with me? Maybe for more sluttiness.
But I was just, I'm that person. I'm like, why the fuck are they texting me? So I'm the opposite. I don't know if there's a word for that one.
Interesting.
Except cold-hearted.
Standoffish, maybe.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. No, there isn't. I think it's. But I think us ADHDers, I think we protect our hearts, especially if we've been burned before. So that might be why you. I like that.
Yeah. We'll bring that up with my therapist and my ex-husband. Yeah.
Maybe.
So no, I get that. The fuck up, the broken, the people not liking you, the alcoholism and stuff like that. I'm nodding along because, that was me. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a proper party girl, proper slutty. But the thing is, I was craving dopamine. We get dopamine in the places that we get dopamine, right? We get it from booze, we get it from drugs, we get it from sex, we get it from food, we get it from shopping. And that was really, shopping was really my bad point. So I always thought that I was crap with money. And I'm going to say this to every single one of you who are listening. You're not crap with money. You just don't understand your brain enough to manage it in a neurodivergent way. When you know and you understand your brain and you manage your money in a neurodivergent way instead of trying to fit neurotypical norms, you will start smashing it. And I promise you. It's hard, but you will.
So what does that mean? I'm nodding along being like, But what does it mean in practicality? Like, what does that mean in reality?
Yeah, so I've struggled with spending addiction since I was 14 years old. It's been kind of like a big crutch for me. But it's not just, I don't just spend when I'm happy or sad or bored. Like, it's pretty much every emotion. Emotional spending is something that is really quite a big thing for people who have got ADHD. And also we mask as well. So like we might buy things that make us feel more like normal, in inverted commas. We'll people please. We're probably the first people at the bar going, hey everybody, shots are on me, even if we can't afford it, because we want people to like us. So there are lots of different things that ADHDers spend money on. Executive function, if your executive function's low, you might not want to cook, so you might order more takeaways, and you might go out to eat more because you can't be bothered. It's not that you can't be bothered, it's just that your brain's telling you that actually, that's not what you want to do right now.
Yeah.
Things like, mess, cleaning. There's always things where, if you don't have a floor drobe, you're probably not an ADHDer. Like, either a floor drobe or a chair drobe.
Sometimes I have a radiator drobe.
Yeah, right. So my sister posted a TikTok video the other day, and I was like, oh my God, like, she really is my sister. But it's a hack where, like, if you have an empty drawer, like in your chest of drawers, an empty drawer for stuff that you can't be bothered to tidy yet, you throw it all in there, so it's like a junk drawer, but it keeps everything off the floor.
Like a man drawer?
Yeah, no, but like I'm going to put my clothes in here, like I'll put, chuck the clothes in the wash basket,
like
but instead of
a purgatory area.
Yes, like a limbo
limbo
job.
job. I like that. Do you know what? I've had a friend, and this was a couple of years ago. So I was suspecting I had ADHD, courtesy of my clients saying to me I've got ADHD, and me being like, no, I fucking haven't, and then
Yeah.
going, maybe I fucking have. And then having this conversation with my friend, and she was like, I think I've got ADHD. And by this point, I hadn't done enough research to know what it was and wasn't. But even in the back of my head, I was like, are you fucking kidding, love? You are the cleanest neat freak that I have known to man. And I was like, I don't think so. I feel like ADHD is like a little bit messy and
Not all the time,
yeah,
Like the thing is, every single ADHD brain is different. We all
true.
have different ways
Yeah.
of presenting our symptoms. And it's taken me quite a long time to think, like, what's my ADHD? Like, and when you understand your own personal ADHD instead of just looking at everybody else's, it really helps you to come to terms with it. So yes, I am the messy person. Like, I've always been messy. Like, on my first ever school trip, I got a certificate, the Messy Maddie Award, because they couldn't think of anything better to give me. Like, I was just strewn everywhere. I am chronically oversharer. Like,
Yeah,
I
that's
am
me.
such an oversharer. I get myself into
Yeah.
trouble all the time. I overshare my own stuff. I talk to fill space. I just
Yeah.
talk. I am chronically overwhelmed most of the time. Time blindness is a terrible thing for me. Really bad. Like, the other day I was meant to go to London on the train for a BBC interview, I must
God, I think
add.
I saw this on your stories.
It was like I arrived 45 minutes early at the train station because I knew I couldn't be late. I went and got a coffee, sat down, had a little, chill out, we're all good. And then I was like, oh, I'm quite hungry. I'll go to WH Smith. So I went to WH Smith,
What, to buy a
got
magazine to me?
really no, to buy food. They have food in WH Smith. I used to work there. In fact, it was my first ever job, so like I know what they have. So I went in and I stood staring at all the food for about 20
And they got
minutes. I was like,
overwhelmed.
oh my God. So overwhelmed with decision paralysis. Just grabbed some stuff because I was like, I don't really know what I want. I'll just grab a load of everything. Again, an example of ADHD tax because it wasn't very prepared. I could have just bought stuff with me. And then I walked out of WH Smith's to my train leaving. And I was like, fucking hell. How on earth did I do that? I was 45 minutes late and now I've missed my train. So I had to phone the BBC to tell them I was going to be late for my interview.
Do you know what?
I got on the next
Yeah.
train, which was half an hour, and then instead of getting the tube, I got a taxi to the venue and I was 8 minutes
Oh,
late. I was
that's
like, I don't know how I managed to
that is
do
a good
it.
catch up.
But I was meant to do that because that was the whole thing that led to the Zoe Ball thing. So basically, I went on the BBC, and then I was cheeky, and the guy who interviewed me, a chap called Sean Keaveney, who works for Radio 2, I asked him if I could collaborate with him on Instagram on my reel, and he accepted it. So therefore, all of his followers saw it. And then Zoe Ball saw me, and then she was in my
Yeah,
inbox.
yeah.
We were chatting,
And
and
that's
then
how
I bought my
that's how
book.
you and Zobel became besties.
Exactly.
Amazing. There we go. Well, as a time management coach, I can't advocate being late, but I do believe, the universe always has these grander plans for us. So you were meant to. It was meant to
But this
happen.
this is the thing though. Like, so you as a time management coach will be much better at time than other people who are not. And obviously that's why they need your
Yeah.
help,
Yeah.
etc., which is great. But I think it really is. It's about identifying what your own ADHD looks
Yeah.
like.
Well, I've got a little
You know,
confession for you, Maddie, because the whole time
yeah,
management
do
thing
it.
obviously has come out of me not knowing I had ADHD. So then obviously overcompensating because I don't want to be found out that I'm this broken, fucked mess. So I am now putting all these
Yeah.
rigid systems in place so that I can.
But you are not
No, but
broken.
that's
You're
how I
not
used
broken.
to.
You just
Yeah,
have
that's
a
how I used to
no,
think
no, no. And this is
pre-diagnosis.
the thing. I think anybody who's listening to this who thinks they're broken totally get it. I totally relate because I'm pretty sure that every single ADHD that I've ever met thought they were broken until they knew
Yeah,
why
yeah,
they were broken. And it's not an excuse, it is a reason. And it is something which is actually super validating when you
yes,
know that you're not
yeah,
broken. You just have a brain that operates
yeah,
in a different way. And we're taught that we have to do things in a specific way so that society accepts us, so that the world accepts us. But it's not us that was broken, it was the
yeah,
system.
yeah, absolutely. And I think I tried to force myself into the world, into the system that didn't work for me. So actually, my natural tendency is chaotic, time blindedness, hyper-focused, easily distracted. Like, if you look at my school reports, it's there. So I laugh.
Alice would do better if she applied herself.
Yes, every single fucking... But ironically, a straight A student. So I'm laughing about you. I think, yeah, I don't want to show off, but...
I did get 3 A's. I got one A star in French.
Is this
I was
GCSE
better
or
at French than everything else.
Yeah,
GCSE.
GCSEs,
yeah.
I got 3 A stars, 6 A's and 2 B's. I know.
Mine was 1 A star, 3 A's, 3 B's, 3 C's and a D.
Yeah, still got expelled though, so, go fuck yourself, grammar.
Did you? I didn't do that. Like, I got suspended once. That was fun.
But, undiagnosed ADHD.
Like, because I punched somebody, but it was justice sensitivity. So this girl, basically my sister was like a bit dorky in school, but I always stuck up for her. And it was snowing one day, and it was really icy, and she was like, "Becky, the bus is coming." So my sister ran and slipped up on this massive sheet of ice, which is exactly what she knew was going to happen. So I punched her in the face, and I got suspended.
Well, I think that's absolutely
Justice
acceptable.
sensitivity.
Yeah,
Protecting my sister.
I think that's fine. But no, I'm laughing at your BBC train story.
There's so many stories.
But little confession from me, I like to get places early, and I don't know if that's conditioning because of my dad, because he likes to do that. Probably because he likes to get to the airport early and have a drink. But let's just say it's just good time management.
Mine was like that.
It's good time management, Dad. Anyway, so I think that's been trained into me. The second thing is I actually have a little bit of a military background, so I did actually do OTC at university. So if you're on time, you're late. So I think again, it got trained into me, be on fucking time. Didn't train the tidiness into me. I just got called cunt a lot, but I am now very good at doing press ups because I was always being punished. Yeah, but never mind. So anyway, I think I don't know if it's nature, nurture, whatever, but I like to get to places early. I fucking ain't rushing. It aggravates my nervous system. Yeah. So anyway, we were going to Ibiza.
I can't stand being late. But if I get distracted, I still often get late.
It's a really hard one. Anyway, so me and my friend are going to Ibiza. We get there early because I've got this anxiety of being rushing. So I was like, we'll get some drinks beforehand, obviously. And because we had so much time, I think this then was the downfall. Because we had so much time, it was like, let's get a bottle of wine. Let's get another bottle of wine. And then before we knew it, it was final call. And we had to fucking run from whatever place we were drunk running from, I don't know, probably the fucking Weatherspoons in Gatwick North to our fucking, which is always the furthest gate away. I also had fucked my ankle the week before and had been told to rest up for a week. And I was like, when you say rest up, do you mean go rave in Ibiza for a week? And they were like, no.
Yeah,
they were like, sit down and do not move your ankle for a week. And I was like, oh. So there I am, like running drunk across Gatwick with all my shit.
You can see it. They make a
with
film about
fucking
this.
like dodgy. I was just going to my friend like, go without me. I was just like crying. It was awful. So yeah, I think.
Did you make it?
And then I proceeded to get even more drunk and drink probably half a bottle of vodka from the stuff that we'd got on duty free, which obviously you're not meant to do, and arrived so fucked by the time I got into Ibiza. I left my phone on the transport bus and was so drunk I couldn't find the door to the hotel, and the hotel had to just let me in and like just were like, you check in the morning, sleep it off. It was disastrous, absolutely disastrous.
I love that. That sounds like a me. That sounds like a me story. Like I've got so many drunken stories. Again, that's why I don't drink anymore, because I am like I've got no off switch when it comes to alcohol. But I have learnt to have an off switch. So I basically said, like after my dad died, I was like, I will at the funeral, I'm gonna raise a glass to him, because me and my dad always used to like enjoy a pint of Foster's together. And when I say enjoy Foster's, that's like
an oxymoron.
We used to drink Foster's. It wasn't that enjoyable because it tastes like crap, but it was a thing. So I was like, right, at the funeral, I'm going to have a glass of Foster's for my dad. Got to the funeral and they didn't fucking have any, and I was like, this is really shit. Like, how am I supposed? Like, I thought it can't be anything
establishment.
Right, it was a yacht club, quite classy. So they only had nice beers, and I was like, I can't have anything that's not Foster's because it wouldn't be right. So I thought I'll just wait until I find a pint of Foster's. So we were out last weekend and I found the pint of Foster's. We were on a pub crawl. For the last 3 years, I've done this pub crawl sober. I was there doing my sober pub crawly thing. Found the Foster's and I was like, right, I'm going to have a pint of Foster's. It's been a long time since I've had a drink. I had one pint of Foster's and I was like, that was fun. I'll have another two. And then after that, I was like, nope, I am now shit-faced. I cannot drink anymore, and I will never drink again. Probably, when I say I never drink again, I probably
Till the next
will
time.
maybe have a couple. At festivals, I tend to have like one or two so that I can not be really like autistic and weird at festivals. Because otherwise, I'm like, don't fucking touch me, don't stand near me. Like, if anybody's hair touches me, I'm like,
Oh my God, I've got that. If hair touches me, even if it's my own,
no.
I want to actually vomit.
Yeah,
Is that
I
a
can't do
thing?
it. Absolutely a thing.
Is
So
that an
a thing.
ADHD thing
Like,
or an autistic thing?
it's more of an
Yeah, well,
autistic thing.
it has recently come into my existence for courtesy of other people being like, "Are you autistic as well?" And I was like, "No."
Yeah.
And then
And they very commonly sit together, lie together, whatever. I mean, I had this. So we moved house on Saturday, and I bought one pair of pajamas with me because I was like, we can wash clothes, right? So it's fine. And then I have had the worst cold for, like, you can still hear it. It's still there. Like, it's been since like last Thursday. And Saturday, I was just sneezing so much. And as a perimenopausal mum who's had 2 traumatic labours, my pelvic floor is not what it used to be.
no bid.
And I woke up on Sunday morning, did the biggest sneeze wee I think I've ever done, like literally catastrophically pissed myself. And then I was like, it's fine. James is going to the laundrette today because our washing machine wasn't plumbed in. And he did go to the laundrette. He did on Sunday, but he didn't go until 7 o'clock. So none of my pyjamas were dry. So I had to sleep with my legs touching each other. Literally the worst thing
I have
ever.
to sleep with a pillow in between my legs.
Me too. But this was at the point where my radiator was broken and it was radiating the worst amount of heat. And I was just like, I'm so hot. I can't get comfortable. My legs are touching. I'm sweating. This is just fucking horrible. And it was just all over. Yeah. So I'm a very, very, very sensory being. I'm the sort of person that if I'm eating something and the texture just suddenly changes, I'm like, gross, and then I can't eat any of the rest of it.
Do you know what? I'm not
Honestly, I
as
am.
bad as that. I am a little. I've noticed now that I've learned about ADHD, that I can be quite sensory. Like, I love things like weighted blankets. I love an eye mask. Not necessarily because it's dark. I just like the feeling of something on my face.
You see, I'm the opposite.
Really?
Can't stand it. Like, yeah. So we've had to put towels up in our windows. We don't have blinds yet. So I've got 2 eye masks that I was trying, and I I put them on, and I'm like, oh, that feels nice while I'm awake. But as soon as I'm asleep, I'm like, no, get off.
I love it. I
Like,
love a
can't
weighted
do it.
blanket. I love something on my face. That sounds rude, but you know what I mean. I love something.
It
I love
does.
something on
It
my
really
face.
does. I mean, especially with our earlier
Yeah.
conversation.
I like an eye mask on my face.
But what did you talk about on your podcast? Well, Alice likes it on her face.
And but hair, if a rogue hair touches, I remember actually being in, I think I was like in Greece or something like that, where the men are pretty hairy, and my ex knew that I couldn't do the hair thing, and we were in a water park, and the Greek.
God, if you're in a swimming pool and a hair touches you.
And right, this guy in front of me, he had such a hairy back. I can only describe it as it was like sea anemones. You know, I mean, they're just like wishy-washy, floating like in the water. And I just was like, and I think my ex clocked me staring just like at this hairy back man in the water. And I looked at my ex, and he fucking pushed me into the man. And I went, oh, and touched the man's back and burst into tears.
Bless you.
Actually, even just reliving
That's
this story,
so hard.
it actually makes me want to vomit.
I know. Like, honestly, I am so. My worst, and this is like, I don't know many people who don't like this, but like, my worst sensory ick is when you're brushing your teeth and water goes down your sleeve.
Yeah, no, that's not nice.
I cannot.
That's not my worst one,
Just cannot. Just can't do it.
Actually, do you know what? I've got a very weird sensory ick. In bed, again, keeping with the theme. If the duvet slips down from said duvet cover, so then there's
when you get
and there's the mismatch, and then you've got this couple of inches. I don't really understand sizing, but let's go for inches. A couple of inches where there's a gap between the duvet and the cover that literally stresses me out.
Like, cannot do it. But also with other people's duvets. Like, I've noticed that both of my kids have done that with theirs, and I'm like, that would drive me insane. But it drives me insane on theirs, and I don't even have to sleep with it.
No,
totally the same.
No,
totally the same.
Anyway, right, I'm going to move back to money because thinking about that Greek man is actually making me feel a little bit queasy. So
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
not.
not good, not good. So obviously in the fashion of confessions of an ADHDer, what's been some of your like worst ADHD money story traits, whatever word you want to use?
My biggest ADHD tax cost me £65,000.
Oh, that's quite a lot.
Tiny
Yeah.
bit, just a little bit. And this is like after the shame of like being a money specialist for 5 years or so, having my own app, like getting out of my first 40 grand of debt, being all like smug and like, hey, look at me being debt free, la 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 la. I'm a TikTok creator and I'm a really good money specialist. And then I suddenly got in 65 grand's worth of debt because I didn't read the small print on a contract that said personal guarantee on it.
What?
Yeah, so my last business died. I'm a money specialist that got back into debt. I'm a business coach whose business failed. Most people would be really ashamed of those, and I'm like, fuck it. I'm probably one of the best business coaches for people to work with because I have had successes and failures. Like if you've not failed as a business coach, like you can't bring your life experience into things. So, I had a catastrophic business failure where, like, during the pandemic, I took on quite a lot of debt to try and stay afloat and stay alive. Like, I was running a discount card that helped people to shop local. And it was a brilliant business. I raised 250 grand in investment. Like, it was a nationwide, quite a big scheme. It was an employee benefit. People knew what it was. It was pretty much a household name. And I just couldn't run it during the pandemic. I franchised it. And I then had to unfranchise because I couldn't afford to pay people. It was really hard. And then I had to make people redundant, and that was hard because I didn't have enough money to pay them either. I took out personal loans to pay my staff so that they actually got some money. And then, I thought that if you were a limited company and your business went under, it was limited by guarantee and actually you didn't have to pay anything. But you do if you take out personal loans. And I didn't realise they were personal. I thought they were business. So that was my biggest ADHD fuck up. I'm just about to finish paying all that off though.
Oh my God, amazing. You could have like a debt-free party.
I'm going to be a debt-free person again, round 2. And then I'm hopefully not going to get any more ADHD tax that fucks it all up for me.
We'll have a party and a pint of Foster's to celebrate.
Yes, let's get on the Fosters
just one
again.
though. I know what you like.
I'm not allowed to drink anything nice because if I drink anything nice, I'll start drinking again.
You're allowed one pint of Foster's and one only. I'm very good, obviously, at accountability. That is my job as a...
Yeah, but one is so weak it's not that fun. 3 is fun. At least let me have 3.
And we won't have a train or a plane to run for.
No. Let's just do it randomly. So that was a big one. I have just fuck ups after fuck ups. Like I'm quite crap.
Normal, sorry, I was like really rude. I mean, any normal ones? No, but what I meant was that 65k one is quite a big one, right? Like it's quite
it is quite yeah. I mean,
the everyday ones. What do they look like?
So so I'm a massive music fan. Like I love going to gigs and festivals and stuff like that. And I have to set like 3 or 4 reminders per gig that I'm actually going to because there have been so many times where I've bought tickets and then forgot I'm seeing a band and just not gone. That's pretty bad. I have there's lots of drunken stories. There's so many drunken stories. Because again, like when I used to drink, I had absolutely no off switch. The funniest one, I think, which is in my book. Actually, I probably shouldn't say that because then people won't buy the book. Okay, I'll tell you about another one.
Just buy the book, people, if you want to find out. Yeah,
buy the book. Yeah. But this one is not in the book. I once peed on a barbecue. It sounds weird. We were on.
Oh shit! It sounds weird. Yeah.
We were on top of like a massive beach, so like we were kind of on top of a cliff. So it was quite far to go to the sea, and we tried to put water on the barbecue to put it out, but it was vodka, and that made it more
flammable,
flamey. Yeah. Yes, and nobody had any water because we were out there getting pissed. So I was just like, "Who's got liquid?" And I was like, "I've got liquid. I need a wee." So I had a wee on a barbecue. Never do that.
That does make
the smell,
sense.
like when I talk about it with my friend, she still gags because she can still remember how it smelled. A whole night of drinking and then peeing on a barbecue, it's like burning grossness. There was just no other way of putting it out, so I just did that. So like I do a lot of randomly weird things. Like I am a very much like, but I don't like most people would think that was really embarrassing and they wouldn't tell that story. I'm like, I don't care. Like, I have got to the point where I give 0 fucks about what people think about me. If they think I'm gross, they think I'm disgusting.
You're not my tribe, yeah.
Fine.
I do notice...
Not my tribe. No.
I go to say a story and I've said like the first 3 words and it's too late now. I've started saying it. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
you shouldn't say that, Darnell. Shut up. So then I'll stop, and then the person will be like, "What was she saying?" You're like, "Nothing." And then they're like, "Now they want to
Nothing.
know." So you're like, "Oh, I've got to stop
They
doing that.
do.
I've got to have an
I am
internal
also the same.
voice."
Yeah. I like one of my biggest problems, and it's something that I am working on, is that I have a habit of like saying things that I don't mean. Like it accidentally comes out. It's like word vomit. So I will have a thought and I will say it out loud. And then I go, shit, I can't take
Yeah.
that back. And I've said it in front of the wrong people. And then the wrong people are like, oh, well, Maddie said this. And I'm like, And it's caused me quite a few problems this year. I've fallen out with people. I have been like branded a bit of a bitch. Like, I'm not a bitch. I've just got a mouth that speaks before my
Yeah, we just
brain
got a mouth and a
engages.
brain that's not quite coordinated.
But the thing is, I think, do you know what? Like, every single person, if they really admitted it, like, probably in the world, they all have a bitchy side. We all do it. We all like a gossip. We all like a thing. And it's just like, I said something inappropriate that went a bit, yeah, and it didn't go well. And I didn't behave in the best way. I kind of hid from it for a bit, and I didn't really, what I should have said was sorry, and I didn't. I didn't take that accountability. Should have done that. But again,
Learning from it.
I was in like defensive mode where I was just like, well, I didn't mean to. And I was kind of making excuses. You don't do that really. So yeah, there's lots of things that I've learned about my brain. Sometimes it fucks me over. Sometimes it trips me up. And also like I'm not making excuses. Like I probably shouldn't. I shouldn't have said that thing. But it is that we're all guilty of it sometimes, where something comes into our brains and we don't even realise we're saying it out loud. We're just saying it out loud.
I think you make a really good point there, lovely, isn't it? It's about like learning about your brain. Because I'm the same. I found out about my ADHD at 38, so late diagnosed. For context, I'm 39, so it's pretty fucking recent. And like you say, to go from like, I'm fucked, I'm broken, to, oh, there's a word for the now, what this is. I'm not going to make it an excuse, but I'm going to learn.
And it's not cunt, right?
Yeah, I'm going to still.
And we always thought it was.
My friends, my besties are like, you still are a cunt, but you're an ADHD cunt. But they still love me. But for me, it has been understanding, oh my God, this is why I had, so on the topic of money, why I had such bad money issues when I was younger. And even my mum was like, we were so worried about you as like growing up. And thank fuck I had like a well-paid job and stuff. But I now I'm seeing the correlations to stuff, even simple things like you saying, like, shots on me.
I can recommend a really good book.
Because of like things like, shots are on me because you're trying to people please, or things like forgetting that I've purchased stuff and then repurchasing it and then going, oh, I've got 4 identical black t-shirts, or being still.
I mean, I do that anyway because if I like, again, it's a
Change
sensory
now,
thing.
If I like something, I'll buy multiple.
Yeah. Yes, you have to,
But
because
that's
otherwise
deliberate though, not because I've fucking forgotten.
Yes, it's conscious, and this is how I teach people. And actually, like, I know this sounds weird, but I'm a money coach. I have been a money coach for the past 7 years, 8 years, 9 years nearly. But I don't actually charge people for money coaching anymore. I haven't for a really long time. So all of my money coaching that I do through TikTok, I do through my book, I do in my community, my free community. So I've got the Maddyverse, where like I help people with money. Templates, there's loads of discounts, like people can ask me questions in there. I do money coaching, which is part of my membership, which is £10 a month. But apart from that, I do nothing to make money as a money coach. Because really, like, the way that I see it is like, when I was really struggling, there were loads of people who brought me up with them, and I want the same for other people. And when you're struggling with money, the last thing you want to do is pay for somebody.
£3,000 on a money coach. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So I don't. So the way I make my money is through being an ADHD coach and a business coach and a visibility strategist. Like, I am possibly one of the most visible people that you will ever find anywhere. I've got really big audiences. I'm an author, I'm a speaker, I'm a podcaster. I go on lots of other people's podcasts. I go on TV, I'm in the press, like all of these things. So I make my money by running it's a fairly middle of the range priced course. It's called Amplify Your Influence. It's £1,000. We're launching in February. And I take a set number of people through that program. It's a 12-week program. It's done with you, not done. It's not done for you. Nice. It's not a self-learning thing. It's done with you. So we do all of the stuff while we're on the calls because that worked for ADHD brains. They know they're actually going to get the stuff done. But yeah, it surprises a lot of people that they think, oh yeah, Maddie's a money coach. Like, I am still. I mean, that's what the press know me for, so I have to still be that person, but I don't charge for it anymore.
I love that. Okay, so to just wrap up then, lovely, I would love to know your one top money tip for ADHDers. Obviously, buy your book, which obviously I'm going to link all show notes. But
yes, yeah. So my biggest tip is stop telling yourself you're crap with money, and start learning to manage it. Change your language a bit. So instead of saying I'm crap with money, I'm learning to be better with money. I'm learning to manage my money. My money situation is improving. Because when you start telling yourself positive things, you're going to get less of that crap. And when you do that, like, start just looking a little bit. It's scary at first. It's really fucking scary. But the reason why I started my free community is so that people can come in and ask questions and talk about it with people who are not going to judge the fuck out of them. Because that's the problem, isn't it? Like, money has that shame.
Yes.
Like, let's start looking at it from a perspective of money is a commodity. Money helps you to buy things. Money helps you to live your life. It's not good. It's not bad. It's indifferent. It's a thing, right? You can't be bad with money. Money can't be bad to you. People who earn lots of money are not bad people because they earn lots of money. They're bad people because they're cunts.
It will just amplify.
That needs to be on I feel like that needs to be on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Also, I'm pretty sure that this is the first podcast I've ever said cunt 3 times. Love it.
You're welcome.
You said it first, so I was like, I'm in
Just drop the C-bomb. We're in.
We're in. You are my person. Thank you. So yeah, I just think you can't fix something that you don't acknowledge is broken. And when it's not broken, like, and this is the thing, like, so we've both said that we felt like we were broken. It's the same with your money situation. You feel like it's broken, but it's not broken. It just needs to be managed in a different way. And when you learn how to manage your brain in a different way, your ADHD is less ADHD and you thrive. And actually, like, since I found out 5 years ago that I had ADHD, my life is fucking amazing. I love my life. Like, I love me. I love my life. I love my friends. I love my husband. My kids are all right. I tolerate them. You know, there's that understanding piece. So if you understand your money, even if you understand it and it's like super scary and it's like, I'm in shitloads of debt, I spend too much, like all of these things, you understand. Shit. Fuck. I've got to go and deliver my lunch to my child. I'll be back. Anyway, I forgot to bring my child's lunch to school and they're now phoning me. ADHD tax.
Well, on that note, lovely, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to drop all the links and show notes. You know what I'm trying to say there. Thank you so much, Maddy.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been lovely to see you.
Love you.
All right, my darling. I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh my God, guys, that made me laugh so much that Maddy had to dash off because she forgot about that. But you know what? This is all about keeping it real on this podcast. So do you know what? I didn't want to take that out. Thank you so much for tuning in to Confessions of an ADHDer. If this episode made you laugh, cry, feel seen, then make sure you hit follow so you don't miss the next one. New confessions drop every Wednesday. And if you have got your own ADHD confession, come share it with me, babe. Find me on social media. Tell me your confession. Seriously, you are not alone. And remember, as a time and energy management coach as well, it is my job and business to help ambitious business women unfuck their flow and take action. So please do give me a follow on socials, Alice Dartnell. I'm going to link it in the show notes as well. And also, don't forget to grab your resource pack that I'm giving away for free. Check the show notes. It's the ADHD Productivity Playbook, a step-by-step guide to help you managing your time with your ADHD brain. Also, just to let you know, I'm in the throes of planning an ADHD event in the UK in November 2026. So I'm going to link the waitlist below because details about that are going to be coming out very, very soon. In next week's episode as well, guys, oh my God, this is a juicy one. This is back to being a solo one because I really wanted to share this. Basically, my confession is about going to an event and it wiping me out for 5. And that sounds extreme, but I know a lot of my clients have had a similar story. So I had to do a topic on this one. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been Confessions of an ADHDer. My name is Alice Dartnell and I will see you next time.